Hello all, welcome to BS Explained. In this video we'll discuss what is passphrase and how it works in Niagara Word. Let's jump in. What is a passphrase? Passphrase is what encrypts and prevents the data from malicious links grabbing all information of the connections linked to the stations. Let's say you have 10 JSs connected to supervisor. If somebody hacks your supervisor and gets access of a supervisor, or somebody gets access of a JS and he wants to grab all the information of the connections of all the other devices connected to this JS or to a supervisor, passphrase is what, or he will need a passphrase to disclose connection information or network information connected to this particular JS or to a supervisor. So we will start with where to set your passphrase for stations. Now, passphrase gets created when a station is created on supervisor with X passphrase. Now, for example, if a station is getting created in a supervisor or workbench with X passphrase and moves to a JS, or you want to copy that station to a JS with Y passphrase, in the station copier, you will have to use a station which gets copied with X passphrase. Now, let's say you created a station here, you took a backup of this and you want to copy it over to Z or another JS with Z passphrase. Now, while copying the station, you have to put in Y passphrase, not the X which you originally created, but because you took a backup from Y JS. And likewise, if you do from Z, took a backup and brought it back to a supervisor with A, you're not going to use A, you're going to use Z, you're not going to use Y. So the chain follows. Wherever you're taking the backup, the station backup holds that passphrase of the host machine where you took the backup from. So you set the passphrase when setting up the workbench or commissioning the JS. I'll not bug you down with installation or commissioning of a JS. There's lots of videos on YouTube. Just try this link or one of these links to get to know that. We will see how station will react knowing your passphrase versus what happens if you don't know the passphrase. So what I've done here is I have my workbench which has a station passphrase running in it, and I have a JS connected which has a station passphrase JS running in it. So when I go to Niagara Network, what I'll see is my workbench station is talking to passphrase JS, which is a station of JS. So you can see the client or the server connections connected, the health is okay. Now if I go to my JS Niagara Network, you'll see passphrase, which is a station running in my host machine, running, the health is okay, the client side is connected. So these two are eventually talking. Now what we want to do is we want to go to the platform, go to the station copier and back up this station to my local machine. Now remember, you are copying or backing up this station from a JS which is not in my local machine. So this JS has its own passphrase. Now what happens if I want to go to my local machine, go to station copier and want to copy this passphrase? you'll immediately see it is asking for passphrase. Now in this thing, it shows you here the passphrase that's used to protect the local copy of the station is not the same as the remote host passphrase, which means you're not going to use the passphrase of your local machine, but you're going to use the local copy's passphrase, which was what was set up for the Jays. So now if I put in my passphrase of the local machine, you will see it was the incorrect passphrase. So this is how you, as you see, if you don't have the passphrase, you cannot copy it over to your local machine in the right way. Now you may ask, what if I copy not let's say, what if you want to copy the same running station? Now you see, if I want to show, now the health is okay in this one with client and server connections. If I ping it, it's going to come back. Everything's okay. You can see I have the credentials for passphrase J stations running in the passphrase station, which is my local machine. Now let's for a moment forget about J's. So what we're going to do is go to the station copier, copy this station to my local machine here. Give it a moment. Now this is copied. Now what we will try to do is, once this is copied, I'm going to delete this from the running station here in my daemon. Now what I'll try to do is, now I have this station copied over to my local machine. Let's go to my stations. So you go to your C. This is where my installables are: 4.10, workbench, and stations. So we want to copy passphrase over to daemon. So you go to the same path, 4.10, and now this time we'll see daemon user home, and then to the stations here. Once I copied this over, now if I go back to my workbench and refresh it, you will see this passphrase is already in the local host, which is on the daemon side. Now once we go to application director, if I start this station, which I just copied over without using a station copier, let's give it a moment for the station to run. Now that the station is running, if I log into my station, if I go to my station, config, drivers, Niagara network, you will immediately see this is trying to establish a connection to passphrase J's. You still have your admin, password, platform credentials within this, but it says missing coding key exception password cannot be used because of an encoding key is unavailable. So if you copy this over, it's not gonna automatically establish a connection here. Now to prove you that, let me go to the station copier again, delete this passphrase, which we copied it over physically from folder to the daemon there. Now use station copier here. So what this suggests is, if somebody has been doing or creating a station and he gives you over and you just copy it over to your daemon, it's not gonna be functional as how he made it work. It has to go through a station copier with your passphrase so that you don't have to re-establish the connections from your peer connections connecting to this station. That is how your passphrase works, because it holds all the encoding credentials within that. So this is how passphrase is most essential part of using in a station. Now, it didn't ask me for passphrase here because I'm still using my host machine to which I took a backup from. If I use another local machine and then I copy this station over, it might have asked me for passphrase, to which I would have given this local machine's passphrase. Now let's check if this makes a connection to the client. See, the health is okay and it's connected. So I hope you get the gist of what passphrase was, how it contains the information, and why is it important for a passphrase to hold those information so that nobody ever gets into to your peer connections. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you have enjoyed my video on passphrase. This was a topic from a viewer from my last video. Please keep liking and commenting if you have specific topic in mind that I can make a video on. Please like, share, and subscribe. Cheers!